152 says, use the graph at right to complete parts A through C below. So question A says, what is the multiplier for this sequence? So I took the points off the graph and I wrote them down. 1, 6, 218, 354. And I tried to see if I could figure out the pattern from 6 to 18 and then from 18 to 54. I realized that I'm multiplying by 3, right? You could check that on your calculator, but we're multiplying by 3 each time. So the multiplier for this sequence is 3. Okay? The next question says to write an explicit equation for this sequence. So you're going to take the 3, that becomes your base, and then you're going to multiply it to the power of how many whatever term you're looking at. Okay? I used an X, but sometimes you see it with an N. How many of you have seen it with an N? Okay. Then to figure out this number right here, you have to look back at the first term. So 3 to the first power is just 3. 3 times what number gets you to 6? 2. So that's where the 2 comes from. Okay? Part C says, write a recursive equation for this sequence. A recursive equation just means, how do you get the next term? So from 18, how do you get from 6 to 18? So you just multiply by 3. So you take 3 and you multiply it by the previous term. Okay? N plus 1 just means the next term. So to get to 54, you take the previous term of 18 and you multiply it by 3. Okay? They use all these fancy words, but all they really are asking you is, what are you multiplying by? Okay? Question 153 says, in 2012, the average cost for a new mid-size car was about $31,000. New car prices tend to go up about 2% every year. How do you say 2% is a decimal? 0.02. Okay? What would you multiply by in this situation to figure out the next year's price? What? You would multiply 31,000 times what number? If you only multiply it by 0.02, you're only going to get the increase amount. Does that make sense? You want to also include the 31,000. So you actually have to multiply it by 1.02. The 1 is going to get you back the 31,000, and the 0.02 is going to get you how much it increases by. Okay? So if you accidentally only multiplied it by 0.02, you would have to take that answer and do what? You would have to add the 31,000 back in. Okay? So it's not a total waste. All right. Part B, if this trend continues, what will the cost be in 4 years? Okay, so you can keep multiplying by 1.02 and then take that answer and multiply by 1.02 and then take that answer and multiply by 1.02 and then take that answer and multiply by 1.02, and you would get to 33,555. Or you can just take 1.02 to the power of 4, which is the number of years, times the 31,000. Okay? If you only have to do it 4 years, it's not that bad. But what if you had to find out 85 years? It would take you a long time, right? So I would use the exponent if you have a larger number. Okay? So here's what part C says. Write an equation to calculate the cost in years, N, and they use N. Sometimes I like to use X, but they use N. What does each of the factors in your equation represent? So the 31,000 is the price of the new car in 2012. The 2% increase every year is the 0.02, but you want to multiply it by 1.02. And then the exponent is whatever year they want you to calculate.